My name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. I was born July 4th, 1986. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Today I want to talk about something that a video yesterday just really inspired me to want to remake a video that I made. Probably it's been at least a year. I took it down because I felt word made me guilty about what it was I was doing with my dog, my Dalmatian, in the video. But what I was talking about is exactly what I want to talk about again today. Does a dog know the real you or the fake you? Something that I would just put a challenge out there. Challenge may not be the word, but it's just the word that I use, is stop talking to your dog. Like, not even just, some people say, oh, just do it for a day. Like, just stop. Stop until you're like starting to, the word I want to use here is see a change. Stop talking to him. And every time you need him to do something, like you physically do it. You physically start figuring out how to be able to get hand gestures going to get your dog to understand what you want. If you're trying to get them to get into a room or get into here, you physically get up, you grab a leash, you grab the collar, you do something where you're just like, come on, come along with me. Like, start to actually like put in the words I want to use here is actions, as opposed to just meaningless words. If the dogs, in my opinion, they don't understand the words that we think that they know. They understand key words, but they don't understand the language that we speak out of our mouths to them. They understand our bodies. And our bodies is something that's really interesting because it comes down to, like, even us as humans, our bodies don't lie. That's the number one way that the FBI people, the CIA people, all these people are out here knowing if someone's lying when they're doing these interviews and they're doing all this stuff. They know you're lying based on your body, not your words. Because your words, you can sound real good. Because if you're hearing somebody speak without actually seeing their body, you can start to get they sound good. They sound real good. But as soon as you start to see the body, things start to change. That's the thing that I know for a fact us as humans are messing up, but we are messing up with the dogs, not only just with human to human, but with the dog. We're saying words, but we're portraying something different with the body. We're saying, I like you, I appreciate you, I care about you, but our body is in like disgust. It's like I don't really care about you. And that's the thing that is going to lead to absolute mass levels of confusion. And that confusion, we're going to have to start to guess and start to wonder and start to figure out what's going on here. And in that case, that's where things can really get extremely complicated if you have to start to guess. I just want to be clear. So being clear in reality is saying nothing. Because, man, if I was married right now, I'd even try that out, being with my wife, saying, hey, woman, we're not talking for a while, just a while. Let's just figure out how we could be able to communicate to each other without using a single word out of our mouth. Because I like doing this with my daughter often. We just sit and we just hang out. She's like, I want something, she's going to point at it. I'm like, okay, that's what we're doing. Just so that we can really learn more about each other and not just the words that we're saying. Because the words we're saying are very, very misleading. And especially when it comes down to this dog stuff and dog training. The stuff that we're doing to these dogs is very, very, very misleading. It is extremely misleading. You're coming at the dog with hey, I'm going to give you this treat. And your body is, how do I say this? I don't want to say it like this, but I'm going to say it like this. No, there's two sides of this that I'm going to say. There's the one side of it, you're treat training and working your dog to get different commands and stuff because it's just fun and it's what you like to do. Cool, keep doing what you're doing. You're excited. You're having a good time doing this because you want to do this. You want your dog to just do it just because you want to have fun. So right now I'm trying to teach. I don't know why. I just like training dogs. It is what it is. As much as I like try not to, I have these bursts in me. I just like training some dogs. So I like training the different commands, the different things, and the different stuff, and the just do wild and randomness. I like training it. So right now I'm training the Dalmatian a sit, and it's not because of this. This is the other part of it. I'm going to say is you're doing that stuff because you're having problems. If you're having problems where your dog is jumping a food, barking a food, going wild, and you're trying to train this obedient stuff with your treats, you're lying to the dog. You're giving the dog a treat in the sense of, I'm excited, I'm happy, but your body is stating, I don't like this. I don't like this behavior, so I'm trying to change this from you. You're going to start to show a fakeness to the dog. Then the dog is going to start to look at you with this level of suspiciousness of like, what's actually going on here? So that's the side of it that I'm talking about. Not the side you're just having fun and getting your dog to sit and getting your dog to heel and you're just having a blast. It's not. So the word I want to use here is, behavior modification. If you're just doing it just because it's fun, your dog is going to see that excitement in you because you're having fun doing that. And if they mess up, it's just like, oh, it's whatever. Let's try again. It's nothing that's like, say, especially in a rush where I need to get it now or else. You're just doing what you're doing, and today you bring 5 treats out, get them to sit, and the next day you bring 2 out. The next week you don't do it. You just do what you do and having a good time. Your dog can see that excitement on you. And in reality, the dogs want to do more with that excitement. They push harder because I've just noticed that with doing stuff with my Johnny now. I did, treat training with him to get him to do his obedient stuff, but it was or else. You better or else was the language with it, because it was needed for him to be able to perform, as opposed to just being a fun circus trick. No, I can't say circus trick because they out there that have to perform as well. But just to do it just because, who cares? I'm just doing it. And he wants to work, because in school it was always one rep Johnny. He would do once or twice, and then after that, we're done. He just looked at me like, I'm finished. But today, the dude will just keep going and going and going and going. And he's kind of looking at me like, I'll sit one more time for you. I'll do it again for you. It's just, he sees my excitement. He's getting that excitement. He's getting the treat that's exciting. So we're just all paired up together as this beautiful thing of harmony. But when I'm trying to do the other side of it, you better or else. The dog, you're giving it a level of excitement, and it's seeing you in this level of, the only thing I'm going to say here is in most cases, especially, I could just simply watch videos of this with people doing this type of training, that you look frustrated. If your body is frustrated and you're trying to get your dog excited, now you got this weirdness going on here. The dog is not going to want to have to do anything for you. That's where we have to upgrade with, now I need to put some sort of leash or some collar system on to convince the dog that you don't have any other choice. That's where things are going to start to get weird. So that's where you're starting to represent something fake. And that fakeness, the dog isn't going to want to be around that. The dog is going to want to get away from that. Even though you're trying to, woohoo, yeah, let's go, do this, do this, do this. But if your body is like just irritated in any sort of way, the dog is going to take the treat and it's going to go away. It's going to just keep wanting to do that. That's when you have to like start to force the dog to just like, that's where your corrective collars in reality have to come in. Because you're trying to do it in a way that is not enjoyable. And this is the thing that I've just realized. I was just watching this video the other day. Or was that yesterday or last night? I don't know when I watched it. But it's just, it really got in me about the whole concept of me being excited and what the dog is going to do with my excitement. When I am in a true level of excitement with what I'm seeing going on in my world, the dogs, they smother me. They want to get closer to me. They want to live. They're sharp. They're snappy. They're just like, yes, sir. Yes, man. What do you want? What are we doing? Where are we going? They're just an absolute joy to be around. But when I'm looking at them with this, like, this disgust, this is where the things get complicated, because yes, I'm going to say no to my dogs here and there. I'm going to tell them, I don't want you to do something sometimes. But the level of disgust comes in when the dog only sees you with every word and every action you state is no. So even though you're saying yes, like, I want you to have the treat, but it's no, because your body is saying no. So you're never really saying, I like anything that you're doing, dog. Like, I appreciate what you're doing, dog. Like, this is looking really good. And then when you actually are able to get the dog to see you, no words, no nothing, but see you as you are, I'm happy with what I'm seeing here. You're going to watch that the dog is just going to want to please even more. That's the thing that I believe that we're just missing today, is being able to just, for one, just being able to be with the dogs. Take the dog out in a place and just be able to be with it. And know that we're just going to do that because I don't need to like rush into that next thing over and over and over again. I just want to be able to sit here. So it allows the dog to be able to just experience you for who you are. Not this extraness that's going on in your world. And that's the thing that I really have come to realize is an absolutely amazing thing. Because this is why, for me, some people are kind of giving me pushback a year ago, basically, from now, of, man, you keeping that leash on that dog for a whole year, a long time. Like, it wasn't a whole year that I kept the leash on the dog when I was out in public, but it was a long time where someone would say, oh, I thought you were a professional, I thought you were the best, you still got a leash on the dog. Yeah, because I don't ever, because there was one video I made in specific that I started to run into a dilemma where I was starting to, the dog's not understanding the real me and starting to understand the fake me, is when she was going too far away. And I would say, I have to keep saying, come here, get over here, stop that, get off of this, get out of here, when I'm having to keep doing that, it's just bringing hostility that doesn't need to be there. So I'm just going to put them on leash and make them stay on the leash with me to just not have to, the words I like using is just bark orders at the dog. So the dog could just be able to relax. I could be able to relax, and the dog could be able to do what I'm looking for. The dog will be able to see me, that I'm happy with the dog, and the dog's going to want to just look back and say, oh, you're happy with me, I'm happy with you. Let's just stay in this happy moment. Let's keep doing this. I like this. But as soon as we start just like, oh no, get over here, get off this, get out, just doing that over and over and over again, the dog's not going to want to have anything to do with you, because it's going to see from you all this, like, this negative, toxic body from you. It's just, it's going to see something not great from you. This is the difference. I will say there's a big difference here. And you have a dog for work, for purpose, that's doing something for you. I don't care what state, I've seen this across the board almost. I don't care what state of being you're in, the dog still performs and still just does what it does. I'm talking about pet dogs and companion dogs that are with us. The moment that you start to, because they're the word I want to use here is they're soft. They're soft. I could look at my Border Collie Oreo and I could say no to him. I could look at him. I could give him like a body of like, I said no. And the dude just like, he's like, okay. And he moves on. If I do that same thing to any of my other dogs, they all look at me like, I don't want nothing to do with you for a couple of weeks. I'm done with you. They're completely different stuff that goes on here with these dogs, that some you can be more and others you can't. And I'm just noticing that most pet dogs, you can't. You have to be more, allowing them to see the excitement from you so that they can see the real excitement from you, not this fake phony stuff out there. And then they want to be able to join into that excitement, because it's something that the dog, I don't know why, but I don't know why. I don't know why the dogs are so different, I guess I can say, on how some are so, I've seen this in my face, in my eyes. With certain dogs, I could slap a prong collar on the dog. I could yank the heck out of that dog and it just looks at you like, whatever. Like, cool. You said no, well, whatever. Like they don't care. It's like almost in a sense of, I'll say it is, that's their only type of language. Like that's their language. That's how they speak. They speak with, I need pressure for you to tell me what to do. I've seen dogs that are like this. And I've also seen the most majority of all the dogs, if you do that same thing to them, they're like, they want nothing. They're completely done with you. And then when they're completely done with you, what's the thing that we do? Throw more treats at it to try to get it to like you. The dog it sees that your body, your action with, I'm going to physically do this to you, says something damaging to the dog. And then now you're trying to come with this fakeness of like, let me give you this treat and make everything be cool and sweet now. That's the weirdness behind it, that I just see that a lot of people, you're having problems with these dogs because a dog doesn't, for one, it doesn't know you. And two, you're pushing it off too fast, too hard into doing things that it's making it have to always stay in this troubled stance. It's never like doing good. It's never doing right. I see this all the time. All places that I go, I don't know what's going on lately. Like it literally was 70 degrees 2 days ago, and today it's like 110. I thought we got warm because of the sun was like getting closer or doing this. Not just warm just because. There's some weird stuff going on these lands right now. So I haven't really been going out too far this past couple of days. But any other time I'm out and I see a bunch of people and a bunch of dogs, I just see it. No. Get over here. Get off here. Get off here. Get up. It's just like no, all forever, for everything. That's why even inside of the house, what I do with the dog, if the dog is just acting a fool, I'm going to put the dog on the leash. I'm going to hang out and stand or sit and hang out with the dog, because I don't want to have to keep saying all this stuff, saying all these meaningless words, saying all this stuff that's just, it's going to go absolutely nowhere, other than just get the dog to realize how much it doesn't want to be next to you. But when you're sitting and you're calm and you're comfortable, when you're sitting and you're relaxed and you're just in this level of, I'm just chilling, I'm here, the dog's going to want to figure out how to stay closer to that. And then that's where the cool stuff starts to happen, is once the dog settles down. So you go, I mean, anyone can even come to my property right now. I'll go into the backyard of my house right now, and it's going to take your dog probably 30, 40, 50 minutes to just be able to settle down. They're going to see all the chickens, all the stuff, all the everything everywhere. And it's just going to go crazy. And you're just going to stand there and hang out. After some time, once the dog hangs out and it finally settles down and it looks at you, it's like, oh, hey, you're hanging out too. The dog's going to want to learn how to do that more, because we're living in this sense of we enjoy each other. We enjoy just each other. Not the anything extra, but we enjoy each other. So then the dog wants to figure out how to do that more, how to make that happen more. That's why for me, it really is an interesting experience of getting, all my dogs in reality to stop chasing stuff and stop do stuff, because they see it and they're still like, oh, that's exciting. But then they look back at me like, what are you going to do about that? And I'll just give them that look of like, we're not going to do anything about that. We're still just hanging out. We're just here. And then they just instantly want to just let that go and just drop it down. As opposed to, this is the dilemmas I used to always have, is if you're looking at it, you're thinking about chasing it. And if you even take one step towards it, you're about to get punished for that. So the first thing the dog wants to do is, in reality, I don't know why the world works this way, is they want to push at that. They're just like, you don't want me to do it? Well, I'm going to do it. It's just, it's everything. I mean, even stuff out here from my life of how it is. So I don't know what happened. I think an owl got half of one of my chickens one night, like 2 nights ago. So I just put it in my compost bin, and the dogs are all walking past that compost bin, looking at that chicken in there like, I'm about to eat the rest of that half. And I'm like, no, we're not eating that. And then the first thing that they try to do is dip their heads and then try to get it. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. But if I look at them and I go to it, so this is, I have a weird system that I have to do some things, is I guess the thing is how I do it with the bones. It's mine. I'm not giving it to you, and I don't care if you want it, it's mine. So if I go to there, I go pick it up and I put it in there and they see me do that and I say, that's mine. They're just like, oh, okay, well, they just leave it alone. Because I'm not saying no, if they dipping into it, going into it, doing this, doing that, trying to get it behind my back. Every time I'm like, no, get out, don't do it. It's just like they want to do it more. They want to do it even more. So I just started off with saying, yes, it's mine. we're not doing any games here. And then it's over with. I don't, it's, I get why it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense in the way of thinking of, I need to punish or I need to reward to be able to get that same level of understanding from the animal. Where all I need to do is just, for some stuff, just say it's mine, and other stuff, just say we're just not doing that because you're going to be with me. So if I'm not next to it, this is why for me, I got to make a video of this dog eating, but I'll feed her all at night though. But I have certain things that I do. It's like you can't go take off and get it. We do this together. So when the dog gets excited, so this is why in most cases when my dogs get excited to want to chase something, they come to me because they're coming to me to ask or to see like, what are we going to do about it? Because it's for me to say where we're going, not for you to just take off and do what you want to do. And that comes in my mind through just them seeing me and me being excited about everything that's going on and not being fake about what's happening. The fakeness, I believe we're throwing a treat and our body is saying something different. Now, if your body is excited and happy and you're throwing the treat, you're going to probably do pretty good. But most people, you don't fall into that because like treat training dogs to do obedience stuff in reality is like, it's some hard work it's not the easiest thing on the planet to do. It's not that easy because the main thing that makes it hard is you have to stay happy and excited the entire time you're doing it. The moment that you start to get frustrated and thinking like, no, why don't you get it yet? No, why don't you get it yet? Because I see that everybody does this. The dog sits once or twice or three times and you're like, oh, he knows how to do it. Then you say sit and he doesn't do it. And you're like, oh, why aren't you sitting? You better sit. You're instantly running into a dilemma at that moment right there. You're instantly running into a fight that doesn't really need to be there. And that's the part where the dog is going to have to push back at that. You're coming at them with a fight. It's going to have to come back and fight against you. Some dogs just don't. They just submit. They just fold. They just say, you can do whatever you want to me. I just don't care. I'm your slave. I don't really care. But not all dogs are that. Not even most dogs are that way. Most dogs are, if you're going to come at me with a level of challenge, I'm going to come back at you with a level of challenge. So I'm going to say, I'm not going to come at you with a level of challenge, period. I'm going to come at you with a level of understanding that I do not need to challenge you. The same I would say with any other human in reality. I'm not going to challenge another man on this planet. There's no reason for me to do that. It's like that's I've grown up to be able to understand way better and different ways to be able to work with stuff. I don't need to come at you with the challenge. I need to come at you and say, hey, this is what we're doing. And that's the thing behind that is putting in action, not putting in a challenge. Action being, if I don't want you to be somewhere, I just go get you, I just take you and I put you over here. I'm not going to go through this, yeah, but you want to, we're just not doing it. We're done. It's finished. It's squashed. And the dog sees me. It's something that I was listening to, this little short clip came on about a comedian talking about how kids listen to their dads better than they listen to their moms. And her whole speech on it is basically because dads usually, for the most part, have more consequences with what they do. And this is the one thing that I've just noticed when it good girl, when it comes to dogs is putting in that action of walking away. It's the one thing that I just noticed a lot of guys do. A lot of guys do this with their kids. The kid is sitting there acting a fool. The first thing the dad does is he's just like, I'm not going to put myself in this. I'm walking away. I'm not going to be in this. And that's basically stating I'm not going to be in conflict with you. I'm not going to fight with you. I'm not going to have a battle with you. I'm getting the heck out of here. And if you're coming, because that's one weird thing about dogs that are the same way as little baby children is they get like nervous by themselves. So they come to try to find you. So if they're in the store throwing a fit and going crazy, I'm not going to stand there. Oh, put that up. Don't do this. I'm leaving. I'm I'm walking the heck away. And I might even just leave the entire store to make a huge statement of, I'm not in the middle of that. I'm not doing that. And you're going to see something weird that 99.99% of the time, the child's going to come find you because they're going to get scared. And 99.9% of the time, the dog is going to come and find you because they're also going to get scared. And then a dog has no choice but to like get up and like do something. And I just noticed that a lot of guys do that. We don't just sit and I guess that's I'm not saying alls, but that's not something that most dudes do is just going to sit there and fight and battle and bicker with somebody. It's just like, you want to fight over there. I'm not going to do that. Like, that's silly to me. That's just not going to work. And I just noticed that literally seriously does work. And that is like literally the number one thing that I do when I'm working with my dogs. And because that's the videos that I was making even with the Dalmatian, showing her with the baby chicks and all that. The number one way I know how to get her to stop chasing, to stop doing anything is I'm walking away. Because when I stand there, it's like I'm introducing and staying in the fight. And I'm giving mixed signals to the dog of the dog seeing me get frustrated. Now the dog definitely doesn't want to be around me. But when I walk away and I just relax and release everything that was going on, the dog's like, oh, okay, well, I can go with that now. Because now we're not in this, the word I want to use is the fight. We're not in conflict. The dog's seeing something completely different here. As opposed to the dog's got a baby chick in its mouth, I'm going to sit here and throw a treat at the dog. the dog's going to eat the treat, look at me, see that I'm frustrated, go back to the baby chick again. It's not really going to get the dog to really understand what it is that we're looking for, because it's a fake level of bribery. It's a fake level of manipulation. A real level of getting the dog to really understand you is to just stop even speaking and stop faking and just be you. And in most cases, if you're frustrated, you got to walk away. Just walk away. That's the number one thing that, I mean, they even slightly was talking about that in the dog school for a little bit up front. You get frustrated, just walk away. Just done. We're done. We're finished. I'm not doing this anymore. And the dog tries to push at you like, no, you better keep going. I'm going to like push that dog away, say, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not talking about push the dog, like literally throw it across the room or nothing, but you're going to push the dog to like, get off me. I mean, y'all seen me do that with my Dalmatian. She's jumping on me and I say, okay, we're done. You can go ahead and get down. You know that name? You know Dalmatian or you know Ophi? She seems like she's starting to respond when I say that word Dalmatian now. But I just push her off. Just say, I'm not doing that now. I'm done. And if she tries to come up again, I said, no, I'm done. I'm done. We're not going to keep doing this over and over. And I'm just going to walk away and just say, this is it. So that the dog sees that when my energy starts to get, say, frustrated, I'm done. I'm not going to keep going. As opposed to the dog sees your energy, you get frustrated, and they just want to keep going and going and going and going and going. That's what I see that most people are struggling with the dog, because they see your frustration and they think of it as it's an opportunity to just keep going. They see your excitement as, oh, it's just an opportunity to just keep going, not as a opportunity to just calm down, relax, and just be with you. Because the thing that I just see with this is the dogs are kind of confused the same way that I know human beings are confused. But since we could talk to each other, I could say to you, I'm mad at you, even though my body says that I'm pretty fine, I'm all right. But that person's going to hear those words, and be able to understand, okay, I need to leave that person alone. But if you're saying I'm mad at you and your body is excited, the person may, because this is where guys get in a lot of problems, because they don't know how to read body language nowhere near. I'll say that's one thing that I have realized on these lands, that women do know how to read bodies better than what men do. We kind of like overlook a lot of things. I've just realized where you really talk to a lot of women real deep. They know more about, I guess I could say situational awareness for sure. That it's like your eyes are opened up so much more. Where guys, we're just kind of like looking at body like, I don't know what's going on here. Or you're looking at body in all the wrong area, all the wrong areas. So you're not focusing on what you need to actually pay attention to when you're looking at somebody. But I can say that I'm mad, but my body looks excited. And some people may still try to push at that. Say, no, you're not really mad. You're all right. You're okay. And if you're getting that from, say, especially a woman, you're getting that from guys all the time, I'm almost going to guarantee you, your dog does the same thing. When you're like, I don't want you to do that, and they're like, you didn't really mean no. You didn't really mean it, do you? I know you really want to. And then the dog is just going to keep going and going and going. Whereas if I said no and I don't like it, my body is like not reading right because I actually really don't care, or I actually am excited, but I don't want it. You could be excited over something and not want it. I could be excited about a fancy car, but I don't want it. So I'm excited, but I'm saying no. So it doesn't mean that I want it. So I need to remove myself from it so that everything understands what it is that I'm looking for, so that I can be able to have clear communication of what my intentions actually are. It's something that I just realized that, because in reality, me with my dogs, I don't really talk to them all that much. I talk to them the most when I'm making videos, because it's kind of like a commentary what's going on around me when I'm speaking to them, so that if you're watching it, you know what's going on with where it is. But in reality, if my dog is chewing on a bone right now, and I'm just sitting here doing what I'm doing, if I look at the dog and I don't want them to do that in that moment, if I look at them and they just go right back to chewing, I just get up, I get it, and I pick it up and I put it over here. I'm like, this is just, we're done. We're not doing that. And the dog's like, oh, okay. It's that simple. So then that's how, for me, it's real simple to get the dogs to be able to out things when I'm telling them to out. That's why it's so simple for me to, when I'm got their food and play with their food, they know they don't get to touch the food until I say, they literally are waiting for that word of me saying okay. And I stand next to the food to say okay, and then I let them eat, and then I walk away. I'm not a big person of ever standing over top of the dog while the dog is eating. I just think that's just not right in my opinion. But I want the dog to know, especially like my Dalmatian, that is hardcore over food. This is how I convince her not to eat random stuff when I'm out in public, because especially so if it's a bone or something, I've never really cared about that. But if I'm in a more town area, she can't chew anything at all, because she's only allowed to eat when she's right next to me. So I'm able to look at it to verify, can we eat this? Because it's something that all my dogs do across the board out here when they grab stuff. So if they grab an egg, they'll grab an egg and they'll come to me and then they'll drop it and they look at me. And I'll say yes or no. Can you eat it or not? In most cases, I just say yes because I don't really care if they find one just hanging around. But they bring it to me so that I can see it. Otherwise, if when the dogs are in the craze of just doing what they do, they just go take and steal and eat and do whatever the heck they want to do. I tell them the only time you get to do basically any and everything is when you're near me. You're near me, we're calm, we're hanging out. Okay, let's do that. And it's very clear because I'm not using any words with it. I'm not saying, asking, begging, pleading. I just, in reality, use the leash so the dog can see me. So I said no, that means no. I said yes, that means yes. And the dog's like, oh, that's easy, that's clear. I can work with that. Thank you. It got hot so fast that these dogs are done. And it's one thing that I noticed. I never questioned this with dogs in cold and heat. But once they start living in the house for a long time, they're no longer able to they're not the same. They're not the same. Because I see this with my Johnny. He doesn't shed much at all anymore. He used to shed, oh my goodness, it was like, house was a nightmare. Just his hair would be everywhere. I'm sitting here having to vacuum sometimes twice a day to get this hair out. But since he's been living in the house now for the past pretty much like 2.5 years, he's primarily been in there. These last 2 seasons, he doesn't shed much. So that means that he's not building a coat anymore. And he's not building a coat anymore means that he can't be out in the cold and the heat as he used to be able anymore. And I'm starting to see that from him. That now when it's hot out, he's looking at me like, buddy, I'm ready to go back. He goes and lays on one of the air registers because my AC, the air comes out of the floor. So he's just laying on top of that thing, just like trying to cool off. And so once they start to live in the house, they can't do the same stuff outside anymore. Whereas my outside dogs like Oreo, Kahi, and Shadow, they're fine. It doesn't matter because even earlier I was running with Kahi and he's just the one. He's active, moving, going, like nothing's wrong. Like it's a normal, the warm day. And Ophi and Johnny are like, they're like done. They're like rushing to try to get back in the house. So once we do start putting them in the air controlled stuff, they start to change, and we can't keep them out the same way that they used to be. And that's something that I never really questioned that, and I don't know why. I used to question it in the way of, oh, it's a dog, he can stay outside, and it really can't. It really can't. They really do struggle. They have a lot of issues with the temperature changes more and as much as we as humans in reality do, because unless we live outside, people that live outside, that's why I'm transitioning to learn no air conditioner, no heat. So you live a much different life. You're not as hot. But once we have that, it starts to get complicated. Starts to get real complicated. But it's very strange to me on how we could go from 70 degrees to 110 degrees in a matter of 12 hours. I thought my life every year would like each day would get like a degree hotter and a degree and a degree, and the next day it'd be 78 and 79 and 90. But nowadays we just could jump 40 degrees in 12 hours. Because I thought the sun made it hot. It got closer or further. I don't know, some weird stuff going on out here.